Iron Man. And what we want to talk about Iron Man is in the comic book world, right? Before the movies and everything, Iron Man wasn't really touched upon. Robert Downey Jr. came into the picture, and he was entering a renaissance, right? There was more stories with him. He's one of the most popular characters. He's a focal point, and then Avengers and a lot of other teams. And now things have been seen to take a turn. Yeah. Chris, I'm going to let you set up the rest of this because this was your baby, your topic, and I want you to say it right for everybody here.
Yeah, I've been an Iron Man fan for a long time. I love Iron Man. I like a couple other Marvel characters a lot better. But the books were always solid, even though he was more of a B-list character in the beginning, before RDJ kind of took him over. And we were kind of in a renaissance period now where it seemed like we were gearing up toward bigger, better things for Tony Stark, right? He had a couple of flop books. The Marvel Now stuff was not great.
No, it was not.
The Superior Iron Man I thought was terrible.
Is that? Yeah, okay, I remember.
Where he has like the white suit and he's like twice as douchey.
Cool suit, but not really good.
Yeah, like it was just bad. And then Hickman kind of did the Avengers and it was great. And he was part of the Illuminati and he was the secret Cap. And it was amazing. And now we're kind of in this like, hey, Slott took it over, big name. And again, Iron Man's still a big character because of the movies. Obviously not going to be the movies right now, but in the comics, they could still kind of push that character, right, for people to love and like, kind of like the second face next to Spider-Man. But everything, everything we're getting right now is kind of more focused on his supporting cast, a machine robot, like kind of social justice warrior, quote unquote.
I like that. I like
push.
the angle too.
I could care less about the robot stuff. I'm not gonna lie. But Iron Man 2020 is supposed to be kind of this like, we were supposed to get Tony back. It's not done, obviously. It stopped as Diamond had to shut down. But we had to focus on Arno. Tony's kind of like not Tony, or he is Tony. And then we were going to get him in a big part in Empire, which obviously didn't start because it shut down.
Yeah.
So my question really for this entire topic and kind of thinking it up, because I have a couple buddies that are huge Iron Man fans who are always talking about it. They pick up every Iron Man, no matter if it's good or bad. And, I think right now we have Tony Stark kind of in limbo, kind of like stuck in the Soul Stone. And I'm
he's
hoping
both Tony at the same, and he's not Tony at the same time, right? Like he's alive, but like he's a machine-created human.
He's like a bioorganic rebuilt.
Yeah, like, with his memories.
With his memories, so he's not real. Like, does that mean the
sci-fi right now, which I'm kind of like digging.
Well, that's an interesting part, right? Of like, all right, does he have a soul kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Is it him, or is the original Tony quote unquote dead and like slowly regenerating, like Star Wars back to tank?
I would like that. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, the other thing is this, right? Like in comics, we talk about this all the time. If you're gonna kill someone, take it seriously, right? And number two, the story right now, obviously, though it's unfinished. To me, it's not on par with what Iron Man should be at this point in time. It's not on par with what the character has, and Robert Downey Jr. and Marvel have worked really hard to build up this character.
Yeah.
To be right now in the books, if you think of event books, right? Iron Man 2020 is an event book, but it feels like a normal book.
It feels like a normal book. I didn't even think it was an event book. I completely forgot that it was an event.
Yeah, like there's no Iron Man book right now. Like that's the Iron Man book, 2020. Yeah. And to me, like I like Dan Slott a lot. I love the Spider-Man run. I think we're getting a big push because of obviously the political climate and the way the world is right now. This kind of, we have to, there's a lot of people who are like, if you're not talking about real societal issues in comics, you're not doing it right. And there's the other side of, I'm reading this to get out of this. Don't muddy the waters. Leave the superheroes alone.
There's a weird balance you have to do.
It's a balancing act. It's really tough. But I think we're going, in Iron Man situation, a little too far into the weird political climate and the social justice, quote-unquote, warrior stuff, where this robot revolution is kind of taking over anything else that resembles kind of like the Iron Man-esque cool Iron Man book. Like, I thought the reveal that he's still around, right? He's not fully dead, and he's in the background with the original Mark I outfit.
And he's leading the AI army was cool. I liked it.
That's cool. But if there's no context, there's no reasoning behind it, because you're focused on so many pages of, like, the robots have to do this, and the robots are revolutioning because they want rights, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, like, if you're a vacuum cleaner, you're a vacuum cleaner. Like,
I think this book and this storyline is going to be better in trade. I think the pauses that we're having here is inviting that, right? Like, oh, I'm tired of reading about this social justice warrior with the AI robot. Me personally, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I love the whole, like, oh, what would they do in this kind of situation with the legal side and how they were governed. I think it's a cool avenue. But I do agree with you, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching, that the key element of, like, the superhero bombastic craziness is missing, right? It's focusing too much on that, and it's not being leveled with, all right, this is the crazy cool stuff that's happening. It's all about that. And as much as I'm enjoying it, I'm missing that part, and I know I'm going to get that towards the end of the book, right? Yeah. Towards the end of the story, it's going to be a full circle. It's going to be fine, and it's at the setup. It's just, right now, it's a little difficult when all we have is that setup, which is just focusing so hard on the robot AI army that we're like, all right, where is the wow factor? Where's the spectacle that needs to balance this out? Because right now it's becoming a little, like in Chris's case, for him, it's becoming too preachy. And I understand that because we don't have that other element that's definitely needed.
Yeah, so, and you may be right. It may be because it's not done, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, or hoping, I should say.
Yeah, but I think the argument of, or not the argument, but the side of saying it's better in trade is tough, because you could argue and say everything's better in trade if you read it all at once, right? Like, if you're just reading a whole story at once, it's quicker, and it doesn't feel as drawn out if you're getting a book once a month anyway.
Well, sometimes, I think, maybe I'm just being nitpicky, but like sometimes I do like the pause in it because it allows speculation. So like Westworld, like I think it's better once a week because it gives us time to figure out what's going on. Like some stories lean itself to some up, but I agree. I see what you're saying. God.
Yeah, like I think this book, I don't know, regardless for me, if I reread it, I think it would still kind of feel like, okay, we're kind of going somewhere, but nowhere at the same time. So I'm, like, again, which also sucks with this diamond shutdown and the way the world is right now with COVID, because we were kind of in this period of, like, upswing for him, right? Where we know by the end of 2020 we're getting Tony back to kind of an original state, original form. We know in Empire he's a massive part in this Avengers Fantastic Four crossover. And then what does that set up? Because Slott is also writing Empire, right? So he's doing 2020 Empire Fantastic Four. And then I'm sure he's doing Iron Man in the future. So what is that going to kind of come with it? Like, is there going to be storylines where it comes back? I think in Avengers it was a little more interesting. We talked about a little bit where Jason Aaron had him kind of stuck a million years in the past.
I like that storyline. It was good.
And then we had kind of the Mephisto arc, right? Where, like, Tony has, like, Mephisto's in the background working against Tony and this whole soul thing. That was a little more interesting to me than anything. I think a lot of people are still waiting for, like, a big Mandarin story. I think a lot of people
are still waiting for that.
I know I've been waiting for it forever.
I think it'd be cool. We haven't seen it.
Yeah, and I want to see kind of Tony have in his own book. Like, I don't need an event.
Yeah.
In his own book, like, you know, kind of like what Donny Cates has done with Venom, right? Make his own book so good that it doesn't matter if it's an event or not. You're picking up that Venom book every day.
Well, with regards to, before we wrap up, with the Mandarin, right? With the man with the magical rings, I know that we're going to get a storyline with that soon because movie's coming, right? We know he's going to be introduced. Yeah. And how they introduce that guy in the comics, I think they have to be at the forefront of their mind done right.
How they bring him back.
Correct. Well, yeah, bring him back. Like, all right, is he just an Iron Man villain? All right, and now we're getting him in his movie. It's a little weird. Maybe they have to do a crossover Avengers with Shang-Chi at some point, and he teams up. Like, there's a weird balancing act that they have to, like, weigh the pros and cons, right? Like, oh, do we just put him in Iron Man because he's an Iron Man villain and it'll probably make the most amount of sense? Cool. Do we put him in Shang-Chi? Nobody's reading Shang-Chi. I don't even think Shang-Chi has a book right now.
He was getting, I think, a mini-series supposed to be in April or May.
Yeah, and that's kind of like reintroducing the character into him, which is probably going to be average, probably wasn't going to be anything spectacular.
Yeah, like the hardcore fans would buy it.
Yeah, so so they have to weigh, like, do we kind of introduce that whole mystical side and make the martial arts and bring all of that into a focus in Marvel? You definitely see Iron Fist meeting Shang-Chi and then them doing some kind of stuff with Defenders. I think they have a lot of setup work that needs to be done beforehand, before they could just bring Mandarin.
Yeah, sure.
With that. But if they wanted to bring it in with Tony, like we're going through this phase right now, it's super AI and mechanical heavy. We saw the little teaser with the mystical side of him going back in time with Mephisto. So that sets up an Easter egg. So maybe in an arc or two of Tony Stark or Avengers, we could see the Mandarins. That might be the quicker route, but it's definitely, I'm sure it's at the forefront of their mind because it's on my mind. And they're smarter than me, I think.
Or Doom. Doom too, because Slott is writing both Fantastic Four and Iron Man. So I would love to see another Iron Man versus Doctor Doom.
I think we're going to see that.
Doom Quest.
I think we'll see that, right? I mean, because like Doom is like the bridge between the mechanical and the magical at this point.
Yeah.
So you can do a Doom right after this, and then maybe Mandarin.
We'll see.
So overall, guys, I think it's safe to say we are concerned with Iron Man in the comics right now. We don't know what's happening.
We're concerned with comics right now.
Yes, the broader general statement is that we're concerned with comics right now. If you're reading the comics right now, let us know what you think of Iron Man in the comic sphere. Are you down to read about the AI army? Do you need that big spectacular, or is that just bringing too much away? We're definitely excited to know. And Chris, I got some bad news. That is the end of the episode.
No!
Yes. So, guys, we do want to thank you all for staying alive and healthy and safe during this time of crisis in our country. Make sure you're being smart and taking care of it. And know that your friends at the Jersey Comic Krew are always here for a conversation about all things pop culture, comics, movies, TV shows. Yes, we're here for you. Make sure you follow us at our social media accounts. I'm sure you've been seeing them throughout the episode, but one more time, Jersey Comic Krew, Krews with a K. But of course you know that because you are here. As always, I'm Rob Moran.
I'm Chris Heller.
And we'll see you next time.
JerseyComicKrew.podbean.com.